Good morning, Crafty Sarah here, and today I'm going to do a book fold, and I thought I would show you how I do it, because if you go on YouTube to try to look up how to, just put a name in a book, it will show you a completely different way of doing it. It'll actually print out a sheet that says page 1, mark this, and I'm talking like millimeters on a ruler, and it'll tell you to mark. For example, it'll tell you to mark like on page 7, use a ruler to mark this spot. And those patterns are used to do almost all the books, different styles. So this is called a fold and cut. So you're folding back a page the same length for every single one, and then you're cutting things that you want to stick out. So I did not learn how to make my folded books years ago this way. My young 20s, maybe I was still a teenager. I don't really remember the first time I made one or even what went in it, but I happened to stumble across a YouTube video that showed me how to do it a different way. And I've been able to adapt that into also being able to do this so far. Still haven't finished this because I keep having orders come in, but I'm not gonna sit there and measure, because you know how they say measure twice, cut once? I can measure 15 times and I would still cut in the wrong spot. Or I don't have enough confidence in it that I would make it too big and then I gotta keep cutting and cutting, and it's just, that would not work for books. So what this is, it's just, my husband made this. It's just a Word document, and it's just a bunch of lines. And these lines are gonna represent my pages. And basically what you would do is, after you pick your font and you have it printed out on these lines, this is page 1, this is page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, page 6, page 7, 8, 9, 10. Anywhere that the word or the letter has separation, it's a separate page. If it's just flat, that's one page, right? So you could sit here and actually count how many pages you need, which is probably recommended, because I already started making this video and I was going with this font, and I got through my M and I realized that I won't have enough book for it, because she did pick this book and it's very pretty, and I guarantee that the font is more important to her. It actually, the M took like this much space, so not cool. I'm going to show you how to count how many pages you need, even though I don't do it. And I just start at the front of the book and pray that it works, or I quickly realize that it's not going to work and then I change up what I'm doing. So let me show you the difference between your fonts, right? Because you're going to want to pick one that's so obviously pretty cursive, right? That'd be gorgeous in a book. But this method, you need quite a few pages to make a letter pop out, and little cursive writings. So if it was, can't write upside down, but if it was too skinny, you wouldn't really see it pop out in the book. So to count the pages, you're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. You get the point. And what you're going to do with your book is you're going to actually count the pages. Now, this is why I don't like doing it. It's count twice, cut once kind of thing, because books don't always start and stop. So this one starts on page 3. There's 4. I guess this is 5 and 6. And then you have 7, 8, 9. And then you come back. So it does have a page 1, and it goes to page 309, 310, about 310, right? And then because each page is 2 pages, right? So this is 171 and 172. Say your pattern came out to be, let's keep it simple, 150 pages, right? So your book, let's say, is easy 300 pages. You're going to divide that by 2, because each page is 2 pages. And so yes, it'll fit. Yay. I hope that made sense. I don't do that. So since this one failed, because it has all these little extra pieces sticking off, this is for a young girl And I think this is just as pretty, but it doesn't have all those pieces sticking off. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way down. And it's not until you get to the A where you'd have to boom, boom, and the D, do, do. But it's probably gonna save me about 100 pages, not doing all this kind of fancy stuff. Okay, so then I'm pretty sure you could just make your grid in the proper spot, but each book is different anyways. So what you're gonna wanna do is you're going to want to kind of guesstimate, I guesstimate, where, so like, yeah, that looks like it's middle. So I have about 2 inches here. It's about 2 inches, right? So I've cut this piece of paper. I can trust this line because I know that it was printed straight. And you would just tape this together on the line. Couple pieces in the front, couple pieces on the back. Make sure it's secured. Like, it's not going anywhere. It's paper. It's not like you need to super glue it or anything. Okay. And then come over here and put it in the middle. And I just kind of like fold down. So that's about how much I need to cut off. This is actually 2 pages long, but I'm just showing this one for example. And, you know, chop that little bit off. Check it, make sure you're happy with it. Like I said, it does not have to be perfect. So yeah, my words are gonna sit pretty much in the middle. So that's done. And I already did that with this template. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to show you how to do just a couple of the pages on M, and then I'm gonna time lapse through it to finish the M. I'll then stop the video and finish all the letters, and then I'm gonna come back and show you how to fold it and then time lapse through some of the folding. And then again, I'm gonna stop the video and then I'm gonna show you how to add color to it. Now there's a lot of different ways to add color to it. I just take a marker and mark it, and because, you know, I have like a million colors of markers. So I'm gonna try to get something as close to this as possible, maybe a little darker. And then I do wanna point out, let's say you started it and this is the one I started with, and there's not enough pages. I could pretty quickly tell there was not gonna be enough pages. Like I said, it took up this much of the book and I still have like 6 letters to go. So instead of sitting here and erasing all of these pencil marks, because there's a pencil mark on every single page that I've already done. Instead of sitting here, wasting my time erasing all of these, they're gonna get folded anyways. What I do is I just take a blue or red, it could be any color. I just use blue and red as my colors. Like, I also do chalk. I like to chalk outside, and I start off with blue and then I correct with red, and that's just easy for me. So you're gonna align this page to the top, and that's what's gonna ensure every single time that your letters are going in the exact same spot. Now I'm already seeing this and it looks a little low for me, so I am gonna correct that because I don't want it too low. This is a lot easier if you didn't already make like 3 mistakes. If I had just made the graph again, that would be way better. Okay, so I'm gonna take off like that much. I like to do the light test where you hold it up to the light to see if, you know, it looks good, and they do look good. Okay, and then let's try this again. The page I'm starting on, line it up at the top. See, that's much better. And I'm just going to mark the first page. And you're just marking. If there's a spot where it's like curving, like this, isn't necessarily a perfect, you know, because it's like going down or it's going up. I always just like cut in the middle and I take the middle point and I just go with it. And as long as you continuously do that, I don't think there'll be an issue. I mean, there's not going to be an issue because I've done it a million times. As I mark, I then mark the line out that I just did so I don't get lost on my pattern. This blue is so pretty. It's like the prettiest blue ever. Okay, and that's all I'm doing, just marking it. And I am about to time lapse you through this, and I'll be back.
It's a good day. It's a good day.
I just finished my M and it took significantly less paper. I do want to point out that as I'm going, I'm going to be folding the pattern, and all I'm doing is making sure the line on top meets up, right? Because the book, you know, as you go, it's going to get like further and further into the book. So just fold it, and when you fold it, make sure the paper on top is lined up. And I will be back as soon as I have all the pages marked. Okay, so I got the entire book marked out. You can't really see it, but you can see that there are lines that I've marked. And now I'm going to show you how to fold it. Some people will use a 90-degree angle, or a 45-degree angle rather. I don't do that. I think I do pretty well on my own. So I just kind of turn the book this way. My lines, because I messed up, I'm going off the blue lines first. And you just take the page and you fold on the line. And I try to make it as perfect of a fold as I can. You could use a bone folder for this, but I actually like it to be a little more poppy, like it pops out a little, so I don't worry about it. Also, at the very end, I will look at it and, because it's not perfect, I'll be like, that doesn't look quite right, and then I'll refold. Like maybe this one needs to go in a couple millimeters, and I'll refold it. But, so that's all I'm doing. I'm just going on the line, folding it down, flipping the page, doing this. This will take about 15 minutes, and I'm going to time lapse this, and I will be right back. Okay, so I'm coming to the end of my book, and I wasn't timing myself, but I made it through like 5 songs, so about 20 minutes. As I was finishing, I thought I'd tell you something a little funny. I was thinking about this. So I was like counting how many songs, right? Because I don't want to sit here and like time myself, but I'd also like to give you guys some good information on it. When my kids were little, we did a lot of road tripping. So the boys didn't always live here with us. They lived over in Georgia, and we've lived in a couple different places in Texas, and we lived in Florida. So like our road trips were the very bottom of Florida in Miami area, up to Georgia, up to Missouri, and over, to go see my dad. So all of our road trips were like at least 10 hours long. And me being the road tripper that I am, I always do it in one day. So my kids, are we there yet? Would always pop up, but not really any of them at that time I could easily say, hey, we got 2 more hours. Or, hey, we're almost there. We only have, 1 hour left. And that would actually mean anything to them. So it's funny because usually they were like watching a movie or something like that. And how much time do we have left, Mom, or whatever? I would be like, we got 3 SpongeBob episodes left. So while I was folding this book, I was thinking about that because my kids will still kind of tell time that way. Sometimes, you know, Riley, go do your laundry. I don't want to do my laundry. Come on, if you concentrate and you just go fold your laundry, it'll only take you half a SpongeBob episode to do it. Not that she's watching SpongeBob, it's just a concept of time that they all understand now. Goodness, and I homeschool, that's kind of scary. But so yeah, I made it through 5 songs. All early 2000s punk rock. And I am almost done here. I have not looked at it yet, but if you actually do this and you're new to it, this can be kind of tedious, this part. So maybe just kind of peek, and once you get a couple letters in, just be done with it. I haven't looked in a long time at my like folded books because I like the big wow at the end. And there's the wow. Let's see it. It says Madeline. Okay, looks pretty good. Looks a little wonky on the Y. Let me see that. And now I just go back and I look at my letters and I see what kind of needs to get changed. Sometimes the letters just need to be squished together a little more. Sometimes it needs to be a little extra fluffed. This is looking pretty good though. My M right here has like this one piece sticking out. So I'm gonna go back and fix that and just make it a little more uniform. So to fix it, I'm just gonna take my fold that I already did and kind of fold it backwards. And then I'm gonna see where I want it. And I'm gonna take a couple millimeters off here, move my whole camera, and do a refold. And that looks much better. And so yeah, it says Madeline. It's a pretty name. Okay, so now time for coloring. I really just use whatever markers I can find. I wouldn't recommend permanent marker because it's just too wet and it will kind of warp the edges. So I've always done them with Crayolas. Because of the color of this book, I grabbed up my daughter's pastels. Now, obviously, because the pages are not white, the colors will look a little different. So don't just take it for, you know, like that's a perfect color. No, because it will look different. So I'm gonna try to get it as close to this, maybe a little darker if possible. I happen to just have ripped out book pages that I'm gonna test on, but if this is for you, or even if it isn't, like you could sell it this way. No one's ever gonna flip to this page and see your scratch marks, or you could write like a thank you here and whatever. So you can test at the back of the book where something's folded, or just randomly in the middle where something's folded. But we're gonna test this right here. There's my color. Okay, and I'm gonna grab out just all of these like blues and purples, really. I highly doubt purple is gonna be the right choice, but you know. First I'm going to just do some scribbles. That's pretty freaking close already, like, but I kind of want it a little darker. So let's see. That's too dark. Let's see about this little purple, and then no. And I have one more little gray color here. That's purple. Okay. So the go-to was this kind of lighter thing, and it will get darker because you're doing it in 2 layers. Basically, what you're gonna do is you're gonna be coloring one side and the other side of your fold. So that's about as dark as it's gonna be, which is pretty perfect for the book. So that's the color I'm gonna go with. Now that I'm looking at this book, I'm not a huge fan of like this sticking out on the sides. And the front of books always have this blank piece right there. And I think that would be much prettier. So I'm going to take out these pages. And I'm gonna do that by just ripping them out as carefully as possible. I have tried to cut them before. That's my dog. She is on patrol right now. She's on the clock, if you can't tell. Guarding the neighborhood, or at least our front yard. Lacey, no. And when they're out, you can't tell that pages have been taken out. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna start at the front of this book. Put in a piece of paper, slide it on in here. You go ahead and squish it, because all you're going to be doing is like making the folds deeper, which is good. And you're just marking the edge of the book and flip. Whenever you do the back part of it, don't go all the way to the tip, because it'll cause it to look like it's bleeding through the pages. So the front, you do the whole opening, and then the back, you do close to the actual fold. And that is all you're doing throughout the whole book. This also takes about 2 SpongeBob episodes. I'm going to time lapse, going through the first letter, the M, and then I will show you the finished product at the very end. And I really hope you guys try to make one of these, or at least convince your 15-year-old to make one of them, because I did, and he was very proud of himself, and it took him quite a few hours because any new craft takes a minute to get used to, and I don't think he's ever going to make one again because he didn't like the craft, but at least he tried, and now he knows, and if he ever has a kid that likes it, maybe he'll teach them. So I'm going to time lapse forward. Thanks for watching.
We've been waiting for so long. We've been waiting for this time to begin. We ain't getting any older. I kind of feel a little younger. Run away and embrace the day. The sun is out, won't go away. Feel the clouds on your shoulder. Touch the sky, feeling bolder. Going out, going all the way. Going high, 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 high. Going out, going all the way. Going high, high, high. Going all the way. Going up, going all the way. Going up, going all the way. Going high, higher. Break the mold, then press repeat. Get 'em up on the edge of their seats. Set your aim a little higher. We're gonna go there.
Okay, so my book is all color, and the color I think looks perfect with the hardcover. The lighting's not the best in here, but it's cute. Okay, and then, so I've decided to, instead, I thought about leaving, I might do both eventually. I thought about leaving a business card in here with, you know, like triangle corners. But until I make those, I made these first. And it's just a little bookmark, because I figured a bookmark probably goes well with it. And then I just need to pick a color. Pretty instantly thinking this one. But let's see what else I got. I also got this cream color and this gray. I think I'm gonna go with this blue. And thanks for watching. Let me know if you actually make one. And I hope you enjoyed, or at least learned how to. And I'm just gonna kind of tuck it in right there, out of the way, and it'll hang right there. Thanks, bye.